The 11Alive investigators have uncovered another video the Roswell Police Department kept quiet. This one stayed hidden for nearly 2 years.
Chief Investigator Brendan Keefe has the exclusive video. It is really tough to watch. It is an incredible piece of video that will stir your emotions.
Indeed it is, Jeff. We want to warn you, the sound and video of a police dog repeatedly biting a young suspect is graphic. We're showing the whole video of that attack. The reason? The K9 was given no order to apprehend the teen and then ignored more than 20 commands from his handler to stop biting.
I'm gonna send the dog. I'm gonna send the dog. Don't run. I'm gonna send the dog.
Passengers bail out of a stolen car and run from police.
Come here. Come here right now.
A 17-year-old stops running and then follows all of the officer's orders. The K9 handler is just out of frame with his gun drawn as the teen sits down behind a bush and puts his hands up and down and up again.
Get on the ground. Stop. Lights off.
The 17-year-old was hospitalized with severe bite wounds. He was arrested along with the others, but prosecutors dropped all charges against the wounded teen.
It troubles me that the K9 did not release sooner than what he did.
I counted 21 commands, stop, and then 20 off. 18 of those off commands occurred after he already had the teen in his grasp. How many commands of off should it take before a police dog lets go of a teen that he has in his jaws?
I would say that ideally one command should be sufficient.
But Roswell police commanders had no problem with this incident when reviewing it 2 years ago. Internal documents show they determined no training issues observed, and the K9 responded as he should. The dog was not taken out of service.
If you had a police car where you hit the brakes 18 times in a row and the car didn't stop and it hurt somebody, even a suspect, wouldn't you take that car out of service?
The officers that were on scene did everything they were supposed to do. They were as the dog approached the young man, the officer was giving commands for him to stop at that point. But even beyond that, the officer immediately went over, grabbed the dog, and was trying to get the dog off of the person, and did ultimately shock the dog to get the dog off of the person. And then there was a failure of the leash. The dog doesn't know that there's a failure of the leash. All he knows is he's been released.
And we were unable to locate the teen. We would like to talk with him. This happened 2 years ago, but our initial requests for the video were turned down because the case was technically still open, and the police chief avoided multiple requests for an interview with the investigators until this week. As with the coin flip case, Roswell officers alerted us to this video because they felt the public was at risk, and command staff did not properly handle those concerns.
What do you see in the video? You can review the entire dash cam for yourself right now on 11alive.com. It is extraordinarily difficult to watch.
Yeah, it turns your stomach. You just heard Brendan mention this coin flip video captured by Roswell police officers' body camera. Nearly 250,000 people have watched that raw video on the 11Alive YouTube page. It shows two officers making an arrest decision based on a coin flip app. And since the 11Alive investigators uncovered that video last week, people across the world have seen the story. The prosecutor also watched the video and decided to drop the speeding and reckless driving charges against the woman in the video. The Roswell Police Department also responded, placing both officers seen in the video on leave. That action happened 2 months after the arrest and on the same day the video was shown in court, but not before 11Alive started asking questions.
It is the biggest endorsement yet in Georgia's governor race, and today President Trump backed Brian Kemp in the GOP runoff. The president tweeted, quote, "Brian is tough on crime, strong on the border and illegal immigration. He loves our military, our vets, and protects our Second Amendment." Given the recent political climate, we want to know whether you think this endorsement will help or hurt Kemp in the race. You can cast your vote on 11alive.com/vote with the results right now at the bottom of the screen. Kemp has positioned himself as an outsider and politically incorrect conservative. He often uses the president's name on the campaign trail. Earlier this evening, Kemp told 11Alive why he thinks the president is now getting behind his campaign.
I think it's my record of standing up and fighting and doing what I say I'm going to do when I get in office, and I have plans that line up with what the president's doing.
Kemp is up against Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle in next week's runoff. Cagle tweeted this quote, "No hard feelings, real Donald Trump," which is the president's Twitter handle. "I look forward to receiving your endorsement against the Democrats in November, as I did for you. Wish Brian Kemp could say he did the same." Now, just this week, Governor Deal endorsed Cagle in the race. The winner of the runoff will face Stacey Abrams, the Democrat, in the fall. Coming up, Emory University political science professor Dr. Andra Gillespie will join us to break down how the president's endorsement could impact this race. Meanwhile, today, Governor Deal also endorsed David Schaefer as his pick for lieutenant governor. Governor Deal calls Schaefer a strong and principled conservative. He also touted Schaefer's role in the state Senate as the lawmakers work to keep Georgia business a friendly state. Schaefer facing State Representative Jeff Duncan in the Republican runoff for lieutenant governor next Tuesday.
Residents of a crime-ridden Atlanta community loudly demanded change in their living conditions and their police protection today. It's the complex where a baby was grazed with a bullet Sunday during an exchange of gunfire. 11Alive's Doug Richards has more on what happened and why.
They treat the victims here like they don't matter.
40 people endured the midday sun and what they say is the indifference of the property owners at Forest Cove.
We are prepared to continue a public campaign for our children, our lives, and our community.
A troubled apartment complex near the Atlanta Federal Penitentiary.
I've been staying here 5 years. The crime rate is high, drug rate is high. They won't fix nothing.
Someone threw a cocktail bomb through my apartment. Me and my son was in there.
That's on top of the shootout Sunday, where a bullet grazed a 6-year-old girl. The gunmen are still at large.
They should not treat us like second-class citizens.
It was a protest years in the making, in a community with a long history of violence.
We got rats. We got all the drug boys over here don't took over. All the what? Dope boys don't took over. You children can't come outside and play unless they're scared they're gonna get shot.
They marched, then turned onto a dirt path.
Oh, this the way y'all gotta go?
Connecting the two halves of the complex.
When we fight, we win.
The protesters took this ungainly walk through a pine forest to show the walk that tenants actually have to make in order to get from their homes to the management office.
That's the way we have to go, to come to the store, to check the mailbox, to even handle business here at the leasing office.
When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win.
When they arrived, the management office had abruptly closed.
Why is the office closed?
The question went unanswered. One of many in this area's long, troubled history.
What do we want? Decent housing.
Doug Richards, 11Alive News.
17 homes raided today in Gwinnett County as part of a massive drug bust. Officers working with the Gwinnett Metro Task Force searched each home at the same time as they targeted a large-scale marijuana operation. Police say in 10 of the homes, they found rooms filled with marijuana plants ranging from seedlings to full-grown crops. Investigators say the 7 other homes were connected to the drug trafficking operation, but were not grow houses. Lawrenceville police say today's raids do not end, but put a dent in the area drug supply.
Does affect it somehow, whether it's going to cause an increase in price or a little bit of a scarcity. It does create an effect.
Law enforcement from the federal, state, and county levels carried out today's raids. Police are still adding up the numbers for the total amount of marijuana seized and the number of arrests made as a result of today's operation.
Our tower cams looking dry right now. No rain in the metro area. We are tracking just a few showers out there up in North Georgia. More of that down into Central Georgia. Stay with us. I'll let you know when our rain chances will return here for the metro area.